Good morning, students. This is Mr. Muibi, your commerce teacher. Today, we want to look at warehousing as our topic. Warehousing. Then after that, let us go to the lesson objective. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to define warehousing, state and explain functions of warehousing, explain the types of warehousing, state the objective of warehousing, and lastly, describe the factors to be considered in citing a warehousing. Then the next one is definition of warehousing. Warehousing uh, is the act of storing goods that will be sold or distributed later. Storing of goods uh, is what is called warehousing. Storing of goods, and these particular goods can be sold or being distributed later. So then again, warehousing can also be defined as the storing of goods produced or bought in a place until they are needed. So warehousing is simply means storing of goods. Storing of goods until when the consumer will demand for them. Then this warehousing also ensure there's a regular and steady supply of goods. So they ensure that there's a regular and steady supply of goods to the market. So the consumer also holds, is either the producer or the wholesaler holds onto the stock until the consumer demand for them. You know, they will hold on to the stock until when the consumer will demand for this particular goods. So that is uh, for the warehousing. Then let us look at the warehouse. You know, I've already defined what warehousing is all about. That is storing of goods until when the consumer will demand for them. Then the meaning of warehouse, a warehouse is a place where goods are stored. A place whereby you store the goods until when the consumer will demand for them. So that is warehouse. Or you can also define it uh, as as a place used for the storage or accumulation of goods, because the storage of goods, or you can call it accumulation of goods, because you are trying to accumulate, bring all the goods together. Uh, so until when the consumer will demand for them. Then the next subtopic is functions of warehousing. The first one is storage. Storage. Storage is one of the basic functions of warehousing, which surplus commodity are not needed. So the surplus commodity are not needed at that point in time may also be stored in warehouses. So when we have abundant commodity, so many commodities, and they are not needed at that particular point in time, then it can be stored in warehouses. Uh, they can also be supplied as at when needed by the consumer. So you can supply them the time or when the consumer in need of it. So that is for the storage. Then the second one is price stabilization. Price stabilization. Warehouses play an important role in the process of price stabilization. For instance, now, fall in the price of goods when their supply is in abundance. And what they are telling us here is when there is fall in the price of goods, then the supply of goods will be in excess. So And rise in the price of goods during this last season are avoided. So they try to uh, avoid the increase in the price of goods, so that they always like to supply the good, or where to supply the good when the price of good is uh, reduced or is being fall. So that is for this price stabilization. So the price stabilization simply means as well as price of the commodity must be able to stable, so that the consumer will be able to demand for more of it. So the next one is financing. Under the financing, uh, this financing against the goods stock by the owner. Then bank bank loan can be raised from the warehouse keeper and other financial institutions. Also advance loan against warehouse receipt. So simply means bank loan, we can raise bank loan through the uh, housekeeper or other financial institutions as well. So it's possible under the financing. So simply means the they can get loan from the bank, not only from the bank, from the housekeeper as well. The next one is risk bearing. This is when the goods are stored in warehouses and they are expected to many risks. Yes. So when you store goods uh, in warehouses, so they are expected to many risks as a result of thefts, deterioration. Uh, these thefts, though, it's possible that when you store goods in any place, is you may find it difficult to get it back from that place. Deterioration is when the good is being destroyed. Exploration as well, or it can be also be as a result of fire. Result of fire. Then a warehouse keeper has to take the reasonable care of the goods. So that is for the work of the warehouse keeper. You need to take care of this good and make sure that these goods are being safeguarded against any various risk. Then the last one is grading. Warehouses provide the facility of packing, processing, and grading of goods. So uh, in warehouse, that is what they are doing. They make sure they pack the good very well, they process it, and they also grade this type of good. And these goods are packed in convenient size as the instruction being given to them by the owner of the uh, goods. That is the producer. So uh, the next one is to look at the types of warehouses. Under the types of warehouses, there are 5 types of warehouses, and this can be described below. The first one is bonded warehouses. Bonded warehouses is a place where goods whose custom duty have not been paid are stored until duty are settled. So you must know that on this there's a custom duty. This form this as a result of um, as a result of tax. So you have to pay tax uh, on the goods that you store in any warehouses. So until when they settle for uh, these duties, that is only when they and that is only when you can see that is bonded warehouses. And under these bonded warehouses must be located near the ports. Need to be located near the ports, very close to the ports. The bonded warehouses are very helpful, are very useful to the importers and as well as exporters. So you must know that one. Very useful to them uh, for the import trade and export trade. That's the importer and exporter use bonded warehouses. So we have state warehouse. State warehouse are being owned and controlled by the government of any particular country. uh, is a place where contraband or smuggled goods seized by the custom authority are kept until they are sold or auctioned. So, a place where contraband or smuggled goods are being seized, so they keep them in all these warehouses. Then we also have wholesale warehouse. The wholesale warehouse, when we are talking about wholesale, this is uh, where the trader can be able to buy in large quantity from the producers. So, and this wholesale warehouse is owned by the wholesaler, and they have a place to keep or to store their variety of goods that have been bought. So, wholesale warehouses are located near the distribution or sales centers. The next one is public warehouse, public warehouse. Public warehouse is a specialized business establishment that provide storage facility to general public for a certain charge. So this is just a public warehouse, and it is being owned and operated by the individual of the cooperative society. These are being owned and operated by the cooperative society. Public warehouse provide facility for the inspection of goods. So the inspection of goods need to be carried out by the prospective buyers. Another name for public warehouse is duty paid warehouse. Duty paid warehouse. The last one is manufacturers warehouse. Manufacturer warehouse is owned by the producer of goods to store their product until they are demanded by the consumers. So the producer of goods must get a place whereby they will store their goods until when the consumer will demand for them. And many producers have warehouses which are located near the factory to store their goods being produced. So some manufacturers have warehouses at the regional center like Coca-Cola now. We have different regional center for Coca-Cola. So these are the manufacturer of a certain products. So let us look at the objectives of warehousing. The first one, they receive materials. So they will receive the materials and supplies in accordance with proper documentation procedure. Any good being supplied, any material supplied to them, there must be a documentation procedure for it, a proper one. So they need to keep that. Then, warehouse number two, warehouse keeper plan and provide adequate storage space. They need to provide the warehouse keeper need to provide a space for this particular product. Number three, they keep storage of goods in accordance with efficient warehousing practices. So, number four, warehouse keeper undertake measures to protect stocks from damage. So warehouse keeper try to take care of this for the protect stock from being damaged or unauthorized movement, so that the product should not be able to move out of the warehouses. So number five, they implement a system of reconciling inventory. Uh, they implement what we call a system of inventory. Uh, they need to reconcile what uh, selling of goods, if it's corresponding with buying of goods. So they need to reconcile with it. Inventory goods. So that is stock. So they have to reconcile with it to ensure that they both are being equal. So they can issue goods out, and as well they can also transfer the materials into the warehouse. So they use uh, the proper certain documentation procedure for this. So, and storekeeper assists in the effective and efficient disposal of scrap. So any scrap of goods that they have in the warehouses, they ensure that they, I mean, distribute this or they dispose it of uh, to the appropriate place. So the last one is factors to be considered in siting a warehouse. There are some factors that need to be considered before you can uh, siting or locate a warehouse. One of the factors which you must take into consideration is the proximity of warehouse to the production industry. So if you want to set up, if you want to have your warehouse, make sure that uh, you take this into consideration uh, by having them very close to the factory industry, so that can be able to save. Then a producer also needs to consider the location of market before siting a warehouse. So a producer needs to consider this location of the market. So if you want to set up a warehouse, make sure that you locate it very close to the market. Then number three, a warehouse has to be located near the distribution center, as I told you, the example of Coca-Cola. So if you want to set up a warehouse, set it up very close to the distribution center that your consumer or the customer can be able to get them. Then number four, a warehouse keeper must also consider the operating costs of warehouse. This operating cost of warehouse should not be too high. Should not be too high. So you have to consider the operating cost of warehouse. Then number five, the mode of transportation must be high. You have to take this into consideration as well. The transportation costs. So you take them into consideration. The warehouse must be sited in a place that is accessible by road or rail. So lastly, the pattern of the consumption of consumer in area must be taken into consideration since goods need to be sited near the consumer. So whatever any warehouse you want to set up, set it up very close to the where you can be able to get consumer. Thank you, my student, and see you in the next class. So, good day and God bless you.